In this second video, we're going to talk about magnetic and electric fields, or EMFs, because the emitters that they're installing inside these full spectrum saunas are very difficult to mitigate for both magnetic and electric fields. Many retailers aren't disclosing the readings. The only reading they really disclose is the magnetic field reading that comes off the carbon heaters on the sidewalls or the back wall. So in this video, we're going to do some testing and show you the kinds of readings that you expect to be exposed to from these so-called full spectrum emitters. Now, when they're installed on the front wall of the sauna, it's not quite so much of an issue because the drop-off rate is quite steep. And so when you're in the seated position, it's not so much of an issue. But we're seeing more and more of these full spectrum saunas with these types of emitters installed on the side walls and along the back wall. That puts you within a few inches of these emitters. So you're going to want to hang around and check out the magnetic and electric field readings from these emitters. So as mentioned, we're going to test both the magnetic and electric fields from this full spectrum emitter. And if we're going to use the triaxial magnetic field meter, so if we just turn that on, and what we'll do is we'll get a reading from around the 2-inch mark. So not too bad. We see it's around 10 milligauss from that distance of about 2 inches. And as you pull it away, you'll notice those levels drop off quite quickly. So when the emitters, as mentioned earlier, are installed on the front wall of the sauna, EMF isn't such an issue. But what we're seeing is that more and more of these emitters are being installed on the rear wall or the back wall. So you're a lot closer to them and you're exposed to a little bit more EMF, magnetic fields, than would be ideal. Ideally, you want this reading to be less than 3 milligauss, even less than 2. So getting up a little bit high, and that's certainly something you'd want to be aware of if you are investing in a full spectrum sauna. Different brands of emitters can emit different levels of EMF and magnetic fields. This particular emitter, it's actually not too bad. The electric fields are very good. We'd consider that very low. But you might have a different brand of full spectrum sauna using a different type of emitter. For example, if we have a reading off the other one I've got, and we'll just bring that into the picture. So this is a different style of emitter. Could be used by other factories. So if we test the EMF, so we can see it's a lot higher off this emitter. We're up around 17, 18 milligauss. It's definitely too high. Full off rate's not quite so steep. Again, on the front wall, probably not so much of an issue to panic about. And if we have a look at the electric fields, not alarming, but definitely a lot higher than the other full spectrum heater. So there is some variance between different types of full spectrum heaters used, and we want to be wary of that, particularly when they're installed on the rear wall of the sauna. I hope that helps with your infrared sauna shopping.